Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreaths. We are back to start a Christmas wreath. I know, it's the first day of fall, but we gotta go. We gotta go with it. I have 7 fall wreaths currently sitting in my Etsy shop, ready for their new doors. We're moving on to Christmas. So we're gonna be making our base with this really pretty cotton stripe mesh, this frayed edge burlap mesh, and this red and green foil burlap mesh. They're all 10.5-inch wide and they're cut to 30 inches long. That's kind of my go-to recipe, I guess, on that. It provides a very nice full fluffy wreath, and when you cut 3 rolls of mesh at those lengths, then it gives you exactly enough to make 2 wreaths. So if a customer wants something for a double door after they order one, or if you just want to make 2 wreaths in a similar color scheme, then it sets you up to be good to go. So we did use this frayed mesh on a fall wreath that we just made, and you know what, I think it'll work for Christmas too, honestly, because I do a lot of rustic wreaths, rustic Christmas wreaths, with, like, you know, the rusty bells and burlap toned ribbons. You know, the background would be burlap. So I think it's gonna work, and I think it's gonna provide a really pretty accent and detail. So we're just rolling it a couple times, gathering it up the middle, taking this end, rolling it a couple times. This burlap mesh with the red and green foil stripes, red, white, and green. I'm thinking about patriotic red, white, and blue. It is nice and thick. It looks really pretty. And I'm just making sure that I'm not overlapping anything. This mesh is pretty thick. So it does have, in this cotton mesh and the frayed mesh, they are a little bit more on the thin side. So technically you could probably cut this red and green striped mesh at 20 inches and it would give you a really big wreath. I don't necessarily think that you need to cut it at 30. So in the future wreaths this season, I think I'm just going to cut that at 20 inches because it's so thick that it kind of overpowers the other meshes that you're using in your wreath. Mesh, pieces of mesh. I guess that sounds better. In case you guys didn't know, my name is Jess. Here at Peekaboo Wreaths, I did go to school for teaching English. So sometimes it's kind of funny because it's like when I just said pieces of mesh, when I said it overpowers the other meshes, it didn't sound right. It didn't sound right coming out my mouth. So I don't know what the plural of mesh is. Pieces of mesh sounds best to me. Feels best coming out the mouth. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, let me tilt this up a bit. It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like ignorance is bliss. Like, even though I'm very thankful to have gone to school for grammar and, you know, punctuation and spelling, you know, enough to be a secondary English teacher, sometimes I wish I didn't know it, because sometimes I'll see things, you know, whether it's printed or you know, somebody will say something and I don't want to be rude and correct them, but at the same time I want them to know, like, if they're an adult, that they shouldn't necessarily be saying something incorrectly. And sometimes I'm like, is that really how you say it all the time, or did you just make a mistake? And I don't want to come across as rude or, like, you know, pompous, or, you know, like, I think I don't know. Anyways, sometimes I'll hear somebody say something and I'll be like, what? Come on. But I mean, I don't speak perfectly every time either, so a little bit of grace. But you'll have to let me know in the comments below, like, is there something that somebody says that it bothers you the way that they say it? You'll have to let me know. I know it sounds kind of petty to say that, but, like, for instance, we know that the 14th of February is what? Valentine's Day, right? Some people actually pronounce it Valentine's with the M. Valentine's Day. And I'm like, is that a cultural thing? Is that a geographical thing? Is that something that needs to be studied linguistically? Or is that just an incorrect way that you said it? Like, because you know how, like, sometimes you hear kids say, instead of library, they'll say library. And you're like, oh, that's just a cute way that a kid says the word. But then if you hear an adult saying it, you're like, oh, uh-oh. Like, it's not as cute, I guess, if you, I don't know. You made your whole life saying library, thinking that that is, okay. Okay, I'm just sounding a little bit full of myself. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound that way. I know nobody's perfect, but, you know, I'm making this YouTube video. I'm talking to myself and just, what do they say? An expert opinion. Because I got nobody else to talk to right now while I'm making this wreath. All right, moving on. Anyways, so if you guys notice, the wreath frame, I did spray paint it tan. These are 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath forms. Although I've heard that a lot of Dollar Trees don't carry them anymore. Other places do carry them, so I will have to look into that possibly in the future, because I did stock up the times that I have seen them. Like whenever I just go into the Dollar Tree, I'll just kind of peek and see. And if I see them, I'll get the whole stack. And the cashier will say, how many do you have? And I'll say, I don't know, because I just took all of them. But yes, those 14-inch frames, when you buy them at the store, they are dark forest green, kind of like a garden steak green. And that can be a little bit dark underneath light colored mesh, even though I think that this red and green foil mesh definitely covers up that frame. I just wanted to be safe. So, all right, so we have 4 more of this. We did wire our frame off camera. If you need to see a tutorial on how to do that, a lot of my other wreath videos show you how to do it. So just click the playlist underneath my name and pick one of the tutorials that talks about like starting a wreath, or you can kind of tell it's the first one in the series. You could do that. But yes, it's just, I use 18 ties, 12 around the outside, 2 rings, and then 6 around the inside. I just attach them at like the brackets on the inside, and then the outside I do the brackets, and then 1 in between in each section. So we're just making sure that we are not overlapping our mesh. We're not opening our pipe cleaners. We're just twisting it one time to make sure that we have enough pipe cleaner in there to fit our ribbon. So that's normally all we include in our zip ties, or in our twist ties. And then we just hot glue our embellishments in. What's going on here with my board? Okay, so I'm just pulling these pieces of mesh on the outside ring down so that I don't overlap any of them. I'm kind of trying to keep the mesh as centered as possible. So like the same amount on both sides. Then we have just a couple more pieces to put in. I have to look through my supplies. I've been so into looking at other wreath makers. They've been taking live videos when they're in stores and showing, like, you know, all the stores are coming out with all their Christmas things and like what things that they like, and you know, what things they like to use on their wreaths. And I've been getting so inspired that I've been going to the stores and buying stuff. But then, here, let me see what I got here. Hold on. 1, 2, this one. All right, let me put another red and green one. I've been feeling so inspired that I have been not looking through my own Christmas stuff yet. I've been kind of having, I know that today is the first day of fall, technically. So, I mean, it was nice and rainy today, which is nice for a fall day. But at the same time, I'm already trying to get in the Christmas spirit so I can start Christmas wreaths, but having a little bit of a hard time because I'm ready for fall to finally be here and for the weather to cooperate and act accordingly. All right, so I had 1, And then I put in 1, 2, 3, and then I'll put the other red and green one right here, and then I'll put my bow here. So I'll do a couple twists so that I know what I had in my mind. And I'll put my red and green in there, and then we will be done wiring this wreath form. So next time I see you, I'm gonna be, I'll have hopefully gone through some of my wreath supplies and figured out what we're looking for here. I know, if you guys saw some of them over on Facebook, if you're not friends with me or subscribed over on Facebook, jump on over and find me, Peekaboo Wreaths. And I bought a bunch of really gorgeous turquoise sparkly picks. They look like leaves, but they're turquoise, and I've just been feeling inspired about that too. So after this wreath, we're gonna be doing that. So here we go. This measures 24 inches. It's nice and full and perfect for us to add our ribbons on and all our embellishments and make our first Christmas wreath of the season. Can you believe it? I can't, but it'll be fun. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.